Meeting of the Troy Traffic Committee will come to order. Roll call.
Richard Kilmer.
Here.
Cindy Nirac.
Here.
Al Petrulis is gone. Sunil.
Yeah.
Cynthia is not here. Pete.
Here.
And Alankar.
Here.
Good.
Proposed resolution to conduct an electronic meeting. The public body may conduct public meetings remotely during.
You don't have to read this one in. You can move the motion as printed.
Okay. I move the motion as printed to conduct an electronic meeting. All those in favor? No, roll call vote, right?
You need support.
Support.
Second.
Oh,
Okay. Now I
It's
can
been
roll call.
moved. It's been moved and seconded to conduct an electronic meeting. Roll call.
Richard.
Yes.
Cindy.
Yes.
Sunil.
Yes.
And Pete Siggenfelder.
Yes. Approval of the minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I request a motion to approve them.
Go ahead.
Sunil.
I request a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
Okay.
Second it.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as written. Roll call.
Richard.
Yes.
Cindy.
Yes.
Sunil.
Yes.
Pete.
Yes. Message to visitors, delegations, and citizens. The Traffic Committee is composed of 7 Troy citizens who have volunteered their time to the city to be involved in traffic and safety concerns. The stated role of this committee is to give first hearing to citizens' request and obtain their input, to make recommendations to City Council based on technical considerations, traffic surveys, established standards, and evaluations of citizen input, to identify hazardous locations and recommend improvements to reduce the potential for traffic crashes. Final decisions on sidewalk waivers will be made by the committee at this meeting. The recommendations and conclusions arrived at on regular items this evening will be forwarded to City Council for their final action. Any citizen can discuss these recommendations before City Council. The items discussed at the Traffic Committee meeting will be placed on the City Council agenda by the City Manager. The earliest date these items might be considered by City Council would normally be 10 days to 2 weeks from the Traffic Committee meeting. If you are interested, you may wish to contact the City Manager's office in order to determine when a particular item is on the agenda. Persons wishing to speak before the committee should attempt to hold their remarks to no more than 5 minutes. Please try to keep your remarks relevant to the subject at hand. Please speak only when recognized by the chair. These comments are made to keep the meeting moving along. Anyone wishing to be heard will be heard. We are here to listen and help in solving or resolving your particular concern. We have no public hearings. Request for traffic control at Lila and Allison. Anyone wishing to speak in favor or oppose to said item on the agenda?
That would be Tom.
Nope, you went on mute. You were off mute for a second. You went back on mute. There, now you're good.
All right, you can hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, my name's Tom Dzinski. I live on Tyler Drive in the East Long Lake Association, East Long Lake Estates number 2, which is between John R. and Rochester off of Long Lake, just to the west of J.C. Park. And I walk through my neighborhood streets frequently, and I've noticed a lack of signage in a couple of spots in my neighborhood. And I think it's more because of the new subdivision that was built in the vacated school. The Troy Schools own some land in that area, and then it's been developed into a subdivision. So now we have another 50, 60 families and cars and construction traffic going through our neighborhood. So I thought it would be important to have some traffic control signage in a couple locations. I recommended 4 of them last month, and Mr. Hatari had some analysis done. I don't see people speeding through the area, so it's not so much a question of people speeding as much as a question of people stopping or yielding to traffic at the appropriate spots. And so Bill Hatari had some traffic analysis done. I saw the recommendations for, I think, 3 yield signs and 1 stop sign in the 4 different locations, and I totally agree with the recommendations from the outside consultant.
Pete, is your intention to do each one of, there's 4 items, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You can either do them as a group or you can do them individually, because a lot of the comments, I've got comments from residents, and a lot of them came in on multiple locations. Majority of them came in on all, and then I've got some specific to intersections. So
I was thinking of doing them individually.
okay,
Only because that's the way they are in the minutes.
Yep.
Or in the agenda.
Yeah, they were.
My only comment is
they were studied individually, so we can do them that way. But I'll read the public comments into the record how I received them. So the first 4 are going to be at multiple locations, and then there's 2 specific to item 5, 1 to 6, and then 1 to 8, and 1 to 9. So if you want, I can read those in right now.
yes, read those in right now, please.
Okay. Hello, I received a notice in the mail regarding a resident request for traffic signs in my neighborhood. I fully support this request. Since the new housing development went in, there's much more traffic and cars routinely drive too fast on Allison Drive. My recommendation is to add stop signs for Midvale at Allison, Lila at Allison, Ellery at Lila, and Prentice at Lila. Parentheses, maybe one here already. In addition to stop signs for Allison at Lila. The notice mentions yield or stop signs. In my experience, yield signs are invisible to most people and nobody pays attention to cross traffic unless there's a stop sign. Thank you, Jason Petrosky, 5158 Allison. Hi, this is from resident 5331 Leadstone, Troy. I request all the stop sign for all intersections. Thank you. You. Hello, my name is Mary Pat Accord, and I am a resident of East Long Lake Estates 2 on Hale Drive, just north of Lila. My husband and I support the resident request for yield or stop signs at the cross sections of Lila. I've seen so many near-miss accidents, including vehicles nearly hitting pedestrians or children riding bikes. I believe adding these signs will bring more awareness to the dangers these intersections can present. Thank you for your consideration into this matter. Mary Pat Accord. To whom it may concern, my name is Ray Elliott. My family and I live at 1460 Lila Drive at the intersection of Lila and Ellery. My family and I have lived here for 5 years. As expected, we have seen increased traffic through the intersection since many families have moved into the new development. This increased traffic has created unsafe conditions around the intersection because drivers do not stop to look for pedestrians, cars coming out of their driveways, or people crossing the street. I've had to stop many times when backing out of my driveway, even when I'm almost all the way out, due to people coming out of the new development and not looking for other cars. There will also be an increase in pedestrian and bicycle traffic as the months get warmer. Since Lila Drive leads directly to J.C. Park, I worry for the safety of my 3 young children and the other children in the neighborhood. I would like to see a stop sign installed on Ellery Drive where it meets Lila Drive, and at least a yield sign at Prentice and Lila. Thank you for your consideration. Ray and Carrie Elliott. And then the next 2 are specific to item 5. Diane of 5302 Allison supports stop signs at the intersection of Lila at Allison. She is all in favor of stop signs. She does not believe yield signs work. She is concerned with all the new traffic from the subdivision. She has lived in her home for 25 years. And then finally, Mindy Witham of 5270 Allison supports stop signs at the intersection of Lila at Allison. She fully supports stop signs. Ms. Witham does not believe yield signs will work. And that's all the public comment for that.
Thank you for reading that into the record. The chair is going to make a motion and find out if there is support. The chair motions that at the intersection of Lila Drive at Allison Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the eastbound Lila Drive approach to Allison Drive.
I second it.
It has been moved and seconded that at the intersection of Lila Drive at Allison Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the eastbound Lila Drive approach to Allison Drive. Discussion? Yes, Cindy.
I prefer the OHM approach and Tom's request to be similar to what's throughout the neighborhood and have a yield sign as opposed to a stop sign.
Question.
The reason I prefer stop signs is that stop signs remove all ambiguity, and the police department favors stop signs as opposed to a yield sign, so that in the case of an ambiguity, the stop sign definitively says you were supposed to stop, as opposed to, we're supposed to yield, maybe not yield. Anyways, that's the reason the chair prefers stop sign.
I prefer to not have to stop unnecessarily.
Alucard.
Yeah, so has this been more of an issue in the last year, or has it been going on for multiple years now?
Tom, do you know? Nope, you're muted. You're unmuted.
Okay. I've noticed it over the years. I think with the addition of the new subdivision in the north part of our subdivision, the construction and the new residents, the traffic has increased, so it's become more problematic and more noticeable. I think, I will say, you mentioned the OHM report. On the west end of Lila, we have a bunch of yield signs for the crossings there. And I don't know, you might look at the traffic statistics to support whether a stop sign is appropriate there or not. But what I see people driving out of the new subdivision, Whispering Park is what it's called, can't think of it. Whispering Park, most of the traffic is heading towards Allison so that they can go, it's a straight shot down Allison to Long Lake, and then they can go east or west off of there. So I don't think there's not, or sometimes they go down Prentice too, and there's a lot of traffic that will route through there. The Prentice to Lila intersection, I think, is the most problematic because there's no signage there at all. There's no signage at all for any of these 4 intersections right now. And the people coming up Prentice will just do a quick look left or right when they get to Lila, and they'll blow through and take a left into the new subdivision. And the visibility there is pretty poor looking to the east if you're northbound on Prentice. So I like the idea of a stop sign there on Prentice. And a stop sign on Lila going toward eastbound Lila to Allison, it also sounds like a good idea to me, so I'd be in favor of that. But to your question, Cindy, about whether it's been a problem all along, it's more of a problem now with the new residents moving into the new subdivision.
Sunil?
Yeah, real quick, probably Tom could answer this. Is there a school bus stop there, Tom, by any chance?
There is a
decent.
I have seen a school bus stop there at the intersection of Prentice and Lila. I think they wind through our neighborhood. They change every year, obviously, but the most recent one I've seen, they're coming eastbound on Lila, and then they go south on Prentice, and that's around 6:37 in the morning.
And the new concession is bringing in what, about 60 homes, 50 to 60 homes? About 50 to 60
You're really
homes.
quiet, Sunil.
Sorry, I'll bump up my volume 1 second. Sorry. I'm just trying to see, do we know how many new homes are being built there? I think it's about 50 to 60 by the looks of it.
It's what do you call those cluster developments? The space between the houses is very simple, very small. I think there's probably 60 to 70 houses there. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Thank you.
I believe it's in the 60 range.
It's in the 60. Okay. And you're right, it's a straight shot on Lila too, so yeah. I request we call for a vote if there's no more questions.
Bill, I got a question first. Did they study that?
Study what?
The city, they studied that subdivision, right?
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about their studies. I don't feel acting on their studies. I like to see a stop sign go in there.
Well, you got a motion on the table.
Any other comments? Hearing none. The resolution on the table is that at the intersection of Lila Drive at Allison Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the eastbound Lila Drive approach to Allison. Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Cindy,
No.
Sunil,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes. Motion carries. Requests for traffic control at Lila and Prentice. Same considerations. Everything has already been read into the record.
I've got one. I've got one email. Yeah.
Okay. If you could
Mary-
read that into the record.
Yep. Mary Jo Bach, back of 5153 Prentice, supports stop signs at the intersection of Lila at Prentice. She stated that traffic and speeds have increased with new residents occupying new homes in the Chadbury Place, or I think it's Whispering Park subdivision. She is concerned about people walking to the park on Prentice and believes stop signs would help in this area.
Thank you. Tom, did you have any other comments, or your comments are already said, correct? Okay, he nods in the affirmative. Therefore, the chair motions that the intersection of Lila Drive at Prentice Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the northbound Prentice Drive approach to Allison Drive.
I'll second.
It's
Go
been
ahead,
moved
Sid.
and seconded that at the intersection of Lila Drive at Prentice Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the northbound Prentice Drive approach to Allison Drive. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, the chair calls yes?
No, I said let's call for a vote.
Okay, thank you. The call for the vote is at the intersection of Lila Drive at Prentice
Prentice.
Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the northbound Prentice Drive approach to Allison Drive. Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Sunil,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes. Motion carries. Item number 7 on the agenda, request for traffic control at Lila and Ellery. Did I say that right? Ellery.
I believe so.
Yes. Okay. Tom is nodding in the affirmative. The chair motions that the intersection of Lila Drive and Ellery Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the southbound Ellery Drive approach to Lila Drive.
Second it.
It's been moved and seconded that at the intersection of Lila Drive and Ellery Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the southbound Ellery Drive approach to Lila Drive. Discussion.
I
Yes, Cindy.
just want to state, similar to the other one, I believe a yield sign would be appropriate as per the OHM report. And since unnecessary stop signs do tend to make people end up speeding, I would support a yield sign, not a stop sign.
Thank you. Other comments?
Am I allowed to make a comment here?
Yes.
I would agree with Cindy in this case because the Ellery southbound, you have clear lines of sight on both sides of Lila because the parking's on the south side of Lila. Parking is allowed on the south side of Lila. I'm hearing some echo somewhere. Parking is allowed on the south side of Lila, and so there's clear lines of sight for people coming out of Ellery. A yield sign, I think, provides enough traffic control for people to see what's going on. My 2 cents.
And they are appreciated. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes. Yield sign don't mean nothing, no people. I've been all over the city area. You go to Rochester, Rochester Hill, Clawson, Sterling Heights, Birmingham. Everybody got stop signs. There's no yield signs in any of these cities, what I can see, and I travel every day through these cities. There's no yield signs at all. It don't mean nothing. If you give a test to a person, he won't know what the yield sign means. They just go right straight through.
Lots of yield signs.
They just go straight through the yield sign. They don't care. And I agree with Pete. The police department cannot make a decision if you have a yield sign there. He cannot make a decision what to do if there's an accident there.
Other discussion? Hearing none, I call for a vote that at the intersection of Lila Drive at Ellery Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the southbound Ellery Drive approach to Lila Drive. Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Cindy,
No.
Sunil,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes. Motion carries. Request item number 8 on the agenda. Request for traffic control at Midvale at Allison.
I do have
Midvale.
one. Yeah, I do have an email here. So I can read that into the record.
You may read that into the record.
Traffic Committee, please find below my comments for the subject meeting. My wife and I have lived at 5534 Allison Drive for the last 37 years. Our home is the first home south of and opposite to the T intersection of Midvale Drive at Allison Drive. We have a direct view from our living room window of the intersection and can observe the flow of traffic in and out of the new Whispering Park subdivision. As a result, and most alarming, we see many small children who have recently moved onto Allison Drive in the last year, riding their bikes and power toys up and down the sidewalk, crossing the intersection often without regard to traffic. Both homes located on the intersection corners have shrubbery and trees planted at the corners, rendering the oncoming view of the intersection obscure for both children and drivers. This is aggravated by the speed of both moving objects and the ratio of the driver perspective to the ground level of the children moving on small bikes or sitting on powered toys. In my opinion, the suggested resolution for a yield sign is not strong enough to prevent a tragic accident from occurring in the near future at this intersection. It's only a matter of time before one of these new families will have a tragedy on their hands and the city will have another lawsuit to deal with. I've seen way too many yield signs ignored in my lifetime. Further, having observed the traffic at the subject intersection for the last 2 years, moving at speeds well above the residential limit, it's my strong belief a yield sign will do little to nothing to prevent the inevitable. In my estimation, based on just half of the number of residents living in the Whispering Park subdivision, the following opportunities for a tragedy to occur are 75 per day, 2,250 per month, and 27,000 per year. Please don't take this high risk. Do what is right and proper. Post a stop sign on Midvale Drive at the intersection of Allison Drive. Kind regards, Patrick Eveland.
My clock was chiming. The chair motions that at the intersection of Midvale Drive and Allison Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the eastbound Midvale Drive approach to Allison Drive.
Second it.
It's been moved and seconded that at the intersection of Midvale Drive at Allison Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the eastbound Midvale Drive approach to Allison Drive. Discussion. Hearing no discussion, the chair calls for a vote that at the intersection of Midvale Drive at Allison Drive be modified from no traffic control to add a new stop sign on the eastbound Midvale Drive approach to Allison Drive. Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Cindy,
No.
Sunil,
Yes.
Pete.
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you, Tom. You can stick around if you like for the rest of the meeting, or you can go enjoy the day.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye, Tom.
Don't leave, Tom. I got a question for Bill. I got a question, Pete.
Yes.
I got a question for Tom. Who put the yield signs up on that new subdivision?
There are no yield signs in the new subdivision at all.
You got on Whispering Park, or new Whispering Park development. He requested that the yield signs in the subdivision to the west intersection. Oh, okay. On
Yeah,
Babbitt Drive and Lieutenant Drive. Okay.
Yeah,
There's no signs there at all, right?
the new subdivision is like a loop, a big oval, and then there's two exits, Midvale to the east and Ellery to the south. What's going on inside the subdivision, I don't know. There's only two intersections. Everything else just goes in an oval.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Tom.
you bet. See you later. Bye. Thanks,
Okay,
gang.
bye. All right. I'm going to kill one of these go-to meetings. If I disappear, I'll be back. Where'd it go? There it is. I'm still here, so I have no idea why I was running, except that I froze. Everybody froze. All right. That one disappeared. But I...
Pete, are you gone or are you still there?
He said he'd be right back, so I don't know. I don't know where he went to.
Not either. Don't play with your computer during a meeting.
I think he must have gone to the first go-to meeting and then, so he had a browser window open saying go-to meeting.
Yeah.
That's probably why. Then he clicked on the one that he was on.
Bill, can I ask the sergeant something?
Yep.
Pardon?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sarge, can you go down on Kirkton on that'd be the west side, just before you get to them new houses? There's been a car parked down there for 3 months. It had never been moved, and they had a plow around it last year, the last time. That's a little black, one of them Chevys they don't make no more, one of them little cars.
Okay.
Kirkton.
We're overrun with frost law right now, so I'll peel one of them over there and take a look for you.
Yeah, it hasn't been moved, I say December.
Okay. Kirkton?
It's just sitting there. I don't know if the license plates are expired or whatever it is.
Oh, that's all right. It'll stick out like a sore thumb if it's been sitting there like that. So.
Yeah, it's a small Chevy they made years ago. Black.
Don't worry. We'll figure it out.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
No, let's see. Pete's coming back.
Well,
He
whatever
survived.
reason,
There he
killing
is.
the one process killed everything. It's like, really?
Yeah, don't be
I
pressing
got
buttons, Pete.
eight of these go-to meetings going, running in the background. Why, I have no idea.
Next time, Pete, reboot before you come on.
Actually, I did that this afternoon. I had to reboot, but yes, I will reboot before I come on next. Where'd my agenda go? There it is. All right. Item number 9, request for traffic calming, firefighters park. 2 service requests through the city's online portal regarding traffic calming measures at firefighters park. She would like firefighters park to be considered for speed bumps. The traffic from teens and golfers is very erratic and dangerous. She proposes a speed bump between the back parking lot and the restrooms to slow traffic between the gazebo and the playground. Second request is she believes speed bumps are truly necessary in firefighters park because speed limits are not practiced and it's becoming dangerous to cross the park safely. Notes and comments from either the city and or the police department.
I did have a comment from Paula. She did email me and says please note that I will not be able to attend the meeting. We will be on vacation. Plus, are you aware that it's St. Patrick's evening? Paula Kruger. So yes, we are. Yeah, we do in the item that you have before you in the agenda. We do under the Michigan Vehicle Code. Since it's a public park, we do have the option of posting it at 15 miles per hour. That's what the recommendation is because we will follow up with a study once we get weather and pedestrians and park users in there in the spring and summer. And we'll do a study to take a look at how traffic operates and interacts with people. Once we have more people in the park and it's back to more normal operations to see if there's anything further that needs to be done. But if at a minimum, what we can do right now is just post it at 15.
Okay.
Any other comments from anybody?
I don't know how, I was over there a couple of times, but on weekend, but I don't know how they can speed down through it. It curbs a little bit in there. Jogs, the park does, in the parking lot, in the driveway.
Actually,
Yes and no.
Actually, Yeah, I was there last week and there were kids drag racing there pretty much. There's a
Really?
pretty good strip in the back towards the back parking lot. There's some, yeah. So,
Well, that's not goodness.
no. So, is it still an option to get those speed bumps in? Or is there a huge cost to the city too?
Yeah, there's a cost, and we don't, at this point, we wouldn't do something like that without a study.
Okay. Well, okay.
But first we need the 15-mile-per-hour sign. Otherwise it defaults to 25?
Correct.
Okay. Yes, Cindy.
I would make a motion that we put up 15-mile-an-hour speed limit signs at the park.
What was your, Cindy? I didn't hear you too well. 15?
Yes.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded that a firefighter's park speed limit be posted at 15 miles per hour pursuant to section blah blah of the Michigan Vehicle Code. Discussion. Yes, Alakar.
Yeah, so generally, and even with the speed limit, like, I think a big problem, especially like high school students who go there to drive and they pay attention to what the speed limit is, they'll just do whatever they want. And I think maybe a speed bump, especially like if you're just trying to cross the parking lot or something on your bike, or if you're walking, it can be dangerous. So, yeah.
Yeah, and again, this is just kind of intermediate step. We want to do a study, but we want to do it when it makes sense, because we do a study now, you're not going to have a lot of cars or a lot of people.
Other comments? Yes, Daniel.
Pursuant to the study findings, this is probably what we are limited to do, but I would request Surgeon Novak to just maybe stop by, or have an officer drive by maybe on a Saturday or Sunday afternoons. That's when you can see the drag races.
Well, if it matters, most people don't know what's going on in there. It's between your Frisbee golf course and the seclusion. There are officers that are in and out of there looking for criminal offenses. The driving is what it is. In my times in there, I haven't seen anything too heinous. But there are elements from outside of the city that are attracted in there due to the park and the Frisbee golf course. And we do our best to try to address that.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of trees and things that can hide things from the main road too.
Sunil, you're quiet.
Sorry, I was just going to say that there was so many, it's so hard to see into the park in the back end from the main road. So unless you're inside there, you won't notice anything.
The officers that are in there aren't in uniform. So
Yeah.
that's kind of
okay.
Call for vote?
It has been called for a vote that a firefighter's park speed limit be posted at 15 miles an hour pursuant to section 257.627, subsection 2, subsection C of the Michigan Vehicle Code. Roll call, please.
Richard,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Sunil,
Yes.
Pete.
Yes. Motion carries. Item number 10 on the agenda, election of officers. In accordance with the bylaws of the City of Troy Traffic Committee, Article 3, nomination of officers shall be made from the floor on the third Wednesday of February of each year for the purpose of electing a chairperson and vice chairperson. There has been no traffic committee meeting held in February, so this item has been moved to the 17 March 2021 meeting. A candidate receiving a majority vote of the members present at the meeting shall be declared elected and shall serve for 1 year or until his or her successor shall take office. Vacancies in office shall be filled immediately by regular election procedures. I guess the chair shall solicit Recommendations for whom desires to be chair. Currently, I am the chair, and Al is the vice chair. In case anybody wanted to know.
I nominate Pete.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded that me, myself, and I be elected to chair for the Troy Traffic Committee for the following year. Discussion, or is there a discussion? It's just a vote, right?
Yeah.
That's the vote. Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Sunil,
Yes.
and Pete. I guess you can vote.
I abstain. Call for a nomination of a vice chairperson. Al is currently the vice chair and does a wonderful job, I understand, when I'm not around. So unless there is objection, I nominate Al.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Al shall serve for a one-year term as vice chair of the City of Troy Traffic Committee. Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Sunil,
Yes.
Pete.
Yes. That takes care of item number 10 on our agenda. Item number 11, public comment. We lost our public. Well, IT support's there. Eric's hiding.
They're not public, they're staff.
Oh,
Hey, Rick.
At the same time.
Okay.
Camera, by the way.
other business.
I do have two things, if no one else has anything. MDOT and contractor Walsh Toby are set to close Big Beaver at I-75 this Friday at 6 a.m. And it will remain closed until Monday at 6 p.m. It may open earlier than that, but it is a full closure, so you will not be able to cross under I-75 on Big Beaver. You'll be able to get to City Hall, and you'll be able to get to Town Center on the other side, but you can't get through. When this closure is complete, the DDI should be open and fully operational. So the first,
Yay!
so Big Beaver should be open. Bad thing is this Tuesday at 7 a.m. So Big Beaver opens Monday. Tuesday at 7 a.m. they're going to close I-75 Crooks and the corporate interchange for 2 weeks. So starting Tuesday at 7 a.m. until Tuesday, April 6th at 5 p.m. They've got punch list and other work to complete there. So the entire project, they're still shooting to have everything done by June. So, but Big Beaver should be open Monday, and then I-75 at Crooks and corporate will be closed starting Tuesday morning.
Hey, Bill, is Crooks still going to be open, or is everything shut down there?
Emergency vehicle access. And Pete Hollinger had sent an email. I can forward that to you.
No, I mean, like, Crooks, is it closed at the ramps?
Yeah. The ramps are closed. The interchange.
Okay,
So
Crooks. Okay.
Crooks is to remain open as far as I know.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
14 Mile still shooting for June?
14 Mile, that's last I heard, they're still shooting for June. They've
Okay.
got some conflict issues they're trying to work through, and they've got some work to do down there.
Okay. Landscaping will be done next year?
The first part of the planting starts in the fall. Then they'll do more planting in the spring of 22, and then they'll do the final planting in the fall of 22. And then they've got 3-year maintenance after that.
Okay. Considering the size of the hills and whatnot, if we have a deluge, is there any concern on the city's part of a mudslide, landslide?
No, they've got
No?
turf. The turf will be established. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other business? Anyone? Anyone? Do you think we'll be meeting in person next month, or do you think
We don't know. Right now, the current order runs through the end of March. There's some staff are working on potential hybrid meetings where you might have the body meet in person and the public maybe gather at like the community center because it's a larger facility where you can space people out. But we really don't know yet. It's kind of evolving as we speak because at the end of March they need to have something in place, whether we continue with virtual or we move to a hybrid or we move to in person. I don't know.
Okay.
So I will
Other
let you,
than my
I'll
small
let you know.
glitch. Okay, cool. Other than my small glitch of trying to close 6 go-to meetings and only closing one of them and watching them all disappear on me, going, well, that was unexpected. But I think it's been working well.
Yeah.
I'm all for it all the time. You can dress the way you want. Bill,
Yes, you
Pete?
can. Yes,
Bill, can you, that new subdivision where we put all them stop signs in, can you look at that new subdivision and see if there ain't any signs up there?
Whispering Park,
Yeah.
the one that's related to the items that were on the agenda tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, typically we don't go through and put up signs just to put them up. We, especially in a new sub, you kind of wait till it's built out because you put signs up, they get hit, and you don't know what the traffic patterns
Okay.
are until they actually have the residents in place.
Any other business?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. See you next month.
Yep.
All right, bye, guys.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah.